Now, I want to talk about when to do colonics because when we met, I was there, my friend, and she said, I'll come in. You said, well, it's winter, wait till the spring. You told her, hold off a little bit. Can you go into why you told her to do that?
Well, I'll just reference Zach Bush again because he's bringing this back to consciousness, and it's the grandmother's wisdom. So there's a book that I love from years ago called Staying Healthy with the Seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it was published probably back in the 50s or 60s. It might still be available. It was full of recipes for winter, spring, summer, and fall. This is crock pot time. Okay. It's still snowing where you are, Casper.
It's cold.
It's cold. And
It's
even
cold.
in Florida, people think, oh, you can, eat raw food all day long. I ate raw food and gained 20 pounds in 6 weeks. And that's a whole nother story. You can interview me on that later. If we will simply eat seasonally and locally and follow the cycles of nature, health can be regenerated. Soups, stews, warm teas, warm water with lemon, no
Mm.
ice in your drinks. It's winter still, even though this is spring equinox, the weather is still like winter. So the best time for cleansing is going to be when that frost is over. In Switzerland, they never start planting till Pentecost Sunday, which is in May,
Mm-hmm.
because they have long winters. So their spring is until May. We had 85-degree weather for 4 or 5 weeks, unseasonably warm, and then boom, it dropped to 65. Now I was eating fish with my veggies when it was 85, but I brought that crock pot out right away, started the bone broth, made the stew when the cool weather came. So cleansing is regional.
Mm.
It's going to depend on where you are and how you can carve out a week, because you need a couple of days to prepare, start reducing the quantity of the food, half what you normally eat. Start your crock pot, make your bone broth or your veggie broth. Hopefully, if you're making veggie broth, for the vegans, I want to say that putting in mushrooms and seaweed will
Mm-hmm.
give you what you need in the broth. Okay. I have two crock pots that go when I'm teaching because I often have vegans and then I have those who aren't. So I have a meat bone broth and then I have the vegan broth that I can offer. Ease into it. When you're doing your cleanse, block 3 days and tell your family, I'm off duty. No laundry, no homework. Don't ask me anything. Better yet, go somewhere. Rent an Airbnb with a kitchen. Little efficiency is all you really need because you can freeze all of this. I'm going to teach how to make pureed soups. We do this at every group. Tomorrow I'll be doing this with Zach Bush's group. I do a white soup, a green soup, and an orange soup. So I have different varieties every day. Herbs from the garden, lots of turmeric, curry, ginger, warming. Nothing leaves your stomach till it reaches 98.6. So if you are drinking iced tea or iced water with your meals, your stomach's going to hold that food longer and longer and longer
Mm.
and try to warm it up. And it's taking the energy from your spleen and your kidney to do that. So in order to keep your organ systems strong, I can remember my first acupuncturist. Shit, Chinaman. You eat raw food all day long. I said, yes, sir. And he said, you never see a Chinaman eat raw food. He makes stir fry. No more raw food, Mr. Kaki. I went from raw to macrobiotic. You can't have any more extremes.
Right.
I went from eating everything uncooked to 90% cooked with a few pickles and sauerkraut for my ferment. I lost all the weight that I had gained eating raw food. the water that I was retaining because my kidneys were weak drained out of my body. And I began to understand why I shouldn't have colonics in the winter, or at least cleansing time in the winter. So as soon as your weather breaks up there, tell that beautiful lady of yours, go into the city and look for Alexandra DeFaccio and Green Star Wellness, and she'll have a beautiful experience with this shamanic Brazilian goddess. Alexandra is amazing. She'll do it in the warmer weather when it's easier for the body to let go because you want to engage sweating.
Mm-hmm.
So we mentioned detox pathways. The sweating is the most efficient because we have more pores than anything. Thousands, maybe millions. Nobody can count these. It's just impossible to know. So you want to be sweating, urinating, defecating, pushing the liver with a little bit of dandelion tea. It also pushes the kidneys. Get lymphatic drainage. Do some trampolining if you can't find a lymphatic drainage person, or just walk real fast, swinging your arms. That's what I do. And swim on the mermaid.
Wonderful advice. I mean, all of these things are things we really overlook, I feel. And they are somewhat simple, right? Again, I agree with you. I think going by nature, it's interesting. I've always had these discussions with people that really follow nature and are in health about we are mammals and we don't hibernate at all. We don't even slow down the winter. We just keep it one pace of go, 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 right? Eat whatever you want all year long. Probably crap. Go keep stressing throughout the winter and not slow it down. Don't change anything throughout the year. I believe it was T.S. Wiley who did research into it, said we're aging almost 4 times as fast because of this, because we don't have these cycles anymore. Everything's just on top gear, just revving, and we burn out. Yeah. So I really appreciate the wisdom you're sharing, because it's so common sense, I would say, but also against the grain of what most of us do every day.